in a place like that, man, it was hard, bro. It was very hard because I went in where it was like murder was like uh, uh, the thing, right? Sauce was like the thing, man. You know, it was bad, right? And being a kid among grown men who was up in there like killing, robbing, raping, doing drugs, and you're like, holy shit, right? Excuse my language, but you like what?
Yeah.
So now you have to use your wits and your fighting capabilities to be able to fend for yourself in case of someone try to hurt you, assault you, or whatever, right? So I just happen to be known from in the streets from as a fighter, family members, and as a person who do sports. And so when I went in at the age I was lucky to have black brothers, white brothers that these these white dudes was some of them was Aryan, that didn't like blacks and blacks didn't like these white dudes, but for some reason they made it their business to not let me get caught up into their trash, right? So they um, guided me to the library, school, study, learn history, um, and the reason they did this stuff for me because they didn't want they they wanted me, I guess, to be able to communicate um, to a generation that wasn't yet to rear its head,
Okay.
and so the years, man, I pretty much did what they asked me to do in there at the elders. They wouldn't let none of us young dudes go around and they smoked their weed or they drank, and we wasn't allowed to go around none of them dudes, right?
Hmm.
We young kids, we stayed in our place. You stay over there, leave the adults alone. You know what I mean? And then the adults, they get us young kids and put baseball teams together, football teams together, um, boxing, started programs. I mean, they pretty much um, kept me from going cuckoo. They kept me from um, wanting to take my life from being in a place like that there at a young age, and they pretty much had their hands on me, and the fact that they and it was clear. They said they was clear in what they said. They only could do so much, but I got to do the rest. And they told me, yo, you got to seek help. You got to do this. And it took me like, bro, I kid you not. It took me till I hit 35 to really understood everything that they were saying. That's when I grew up. That's when I became a man, when I turned 35. And everything that these old timers, man, have, you know, taught me, helped me with, uh, showed me things, made me do. These dudes made me go to school. They made me learn, bro. Like, I'm talking about from black and white. They was not taking it. They didn't want to hear that, all that hanging out in the yard and doing all this. Nah. They didn't play that. You better be in the library. You better be in school. You better go to this program. You better do this. You better do that. You better get engaged with some kind of program in there that's you're gonna benefit from. From AANA, arts and craft, technology, everything, man. Them dudes made sure that a lot of us young kids, man, that came up in a place like that, man, didn't fall to the wayside like a lot of them did, and they, knowing how young we was, and they knew that trauma that we was going through, being in a environment like that, like you every day you in awe, like you see these big giant men's and you just a little 5'11" dude, right, kid, and you like, all right, and they made sure that I was okay, and they made sure that call your mother, call your father. You getting a visit today? Are you getting a visit tomorrow? If you ask your parents if they need a ride up here. Strangers, white dudes don't know me, black dudes don't know me, right? Some do, some don't, but they be like, hey, you need a ride. Ask your mom, your father, if they need a ride up here. I have my daughter, I have my wife come pick them up. And that love that they showed me, right, as adults, knowing I'm a kid, they focused their energy to making sure that I didn't cross that line of no return. And so I end up saying enough was enough with my stupidness, and I seek the help and haven't turned back. I still, like I said, I stumble here and there, but I take my stumble, and I'd be like, okay, let's go and see somebody about this. Let's go and talk to somebody about this. Let's figure this out. And I'm talking about, even a stranger. I just talk to a stranger, and I just, tell them a story, and they give me the best advice. And I'd be like, holy crap, I didn't know that. I didn't look at it like that. And I take that and I utilize that to grow some more, right? I just want to learn. I want to understand. I don't deal with opinions. And in prison, see, they didn't deal with opinions in prison. One thing about being in a prison, right? They don't play with opinions. They don't play with emotions. They deal with facts. That's it. Facts, right? The fact that you're in here, the fact that you're going to do something, the fact that you're going to learn something, the fact that you're going to leave out of here, and the fact that they don't want to see you back in here. That's what goes on up in there, right? At the time that I was in there, it's facts. That's all they deal with, facts, right? So that's why today when I deal with things and people, I deal with facts. I don't care about your opinion. Your opinion's just emotion. It's just emotion that dictates your wants and needs. It doesn't give you the ability to discern between right and wrong. It does not even help you to navigate through situations with dealing with like education or technology, or just even technology, just to be able to create and do things. It doesn't do anything for that. It doesn't help you progress in that field. Facts does. Facts. Due diligence study. Correct knowledge. We got a lot of bad knowledge. We got a lot of good knowledge out here. It's when you become an investigator and you do what investigators do. You investigate your source of information. You investigate where it comes from. You investigate, what's the benefit of it. It's like a doctor. Doctor got to ask you all the questions what's going on with you before he can tell you what's wrong with you. You got to know why you got sick, how you got sick, what is the reason and the cause. And he give you a quick, okay, hey, you got this, and this is what's the remedy for that. You need a dose of knowledge. And so that stuff helped me, man. That stuff, those things helped me, man. The fact that I created, started a program up in there, the fact that, art, the fact that I, use all my skills that these older gentlemen had helped me develop these skills in there. I utilize all those things in my family and my friends, and which was a handful. I can count them, maybe 4, that stuck with me throughout that situation. And then you had staff up in there that kept a hand on you too. That like they never gave up on me. They understood my family. My parents used to come visit me. They seen the genuine love from my parents. They seen the respect. And if I did something wrong, they usually would call my parents and tell them I've been acting up, swearing and carrying on. And then I go on a visit. My mom's right there slapping the crap out of me in front of all the staff. So they knew that Southern woman didn't play. And doesn't matter how old you were and how tough you think you were, your parents would come put you in your place no matter where you at. So that stuff there kind of kept me from really going into depression, and it helped me to seek the things I need to see, because they came first. And, so I choose my family, bro. I choose today my daughter. I choose my happiness. I choose to want to do for myself. I choose to not want to ever deal with depression or anything like that. It's a lonely place. It's a dangerous place. It can lead you to you putting yourself in the dirt.
Was there any like mentor or someone that you looked up to when you was in there that really helped you out on like your trajectory?
Yeah, I had a few people's, man. I had Doug Savory. He was the artist. I, that's where my love came from, doing art with Doug Savory.
So Doug Savory?
Yeah.
Word.
That's where my love come from, art, dealing with Doug. Jackie Campbell. Now he's an old South Charleston guy. The handball, that came from him. The handballs came from him, because I couldn't beat this old man for nothing in the world in handball. My goodness, right? He passed away. He's a good man. He had his bad things, just like everybody else. I did, and all them guys, they the ones that put me on the political side of the things that goes on in our community. They was like the ones who took my mind and from that not abyss, but that
black hole, and put that light in there for you.
Right. So they put that light there. And so I started focus more on being an organizer, focus more on the community, focus more on what to do and how to work on laws and things of that nature. So them guys was the individuals who I looked it up to them, and then you have what is his name, Musa and Tabib. I think it was Tabib, right? They the ones who, and it was a white dude named Mike Burke. He used to be Aryan, right? That guy and them three guys, right, I just named, they was the ones that took my mind and made me learn history and study the way I had to study. They said they was like, look, you're not gonna be like everyone else in here, right, in this block here, this unit here. You will study, you will learn. Them dudes bought me books, got me books, and I learned. The first book true book I first ever read was the Book of Secrets, the Book of Enoch, and Mikey Burke got me that book, and ever since then, my learning of my culture, learning of my people, asking questions with my grandparents and all that, that flame never went out. And due to these people who I look up to, I respect, and some of the people, maybe one or two of them never going home, but they actually did go home because they sent me home. And they sent me home with an excellent future that I see that's gonna be very prosperous. Not on the finance, but on the uplifting your community and every community that you go into. Right?
You gotta speak happiness and optimism, man.
Yeah.
Finance is gonna be there too. Everything is, man.
It comes. Listen.
You're gonna uplift the community. You can uplift everything and your finances just in those two. You can kill two birds with one stone.
Of course, because as a human being, you have to, once you get to a certain age, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that it's not you because you're a grown man at 21, 22 that you got to take care of yourself. No, you have to do that because you don't need to be fed anymore.
Yeah.
So you can take care of yourself. So that's part of what it calls of reaching the age of 21, 22 of existing as a man, right? Mm-hmm. So that's just part of being a male developing into a man. Mm-hmm. You got to take care of yourself. You have to do all these things. You got to provide for yourself. You got to cook for yourself. You got to work for yourself. You have to be educated by someone who is educated to help you understand what is it that you're learning, and then you go from there. And you can continue educating yourself, whether it be from studying history, whether it be studying spiritual knowledge, man. Some people say Bible, I say Torah, right? Whether you're Muslim, you say Quran, right? Whatever it is, man, you have to do it yourself. I mean, if you sit back and let somebody tell you something, you'll never learn nothing. Only thing you can do is regurgitate something that someone else said. A person would know if you learned on your own and if it was given to you by God, because you can go on and on and on, and you see and understand things way better than a person who went to Harvard University. That's just textbooks. I mean, you only go there. BU just to learn social psychology. That's textbooks, right? But to learn to navigate in this world and to spiritually discern spiritual knowledge is true knowledge. You can create, grow, and educate with spiritual knowledge. Dead knowledge, you can't do nothing but stay stagnated at a level. That's the difference.
I think we're gonna wrap it up. I forgot to tell my definition of like depression. So I would say my definition of depression is staying in the past or staying in a state of mind where you kind of just think about all the situations that occurred and that you haven't grown from or you haven't surpassed, and it makes you unable to be present in your current life and not enjoy what's currently happening. And depression can look like different things. It can look like not being interested in the things that made you interested. It can be like not taking care of yourself in the most proper way. So that would be my definition of depression. And one last thing, what would you say, or what advice could you give to anybody, like the youth, the adults, from the old generation to the now generation, on depression, on how to cope with it and do better?
For one, with the youth, don't be scared to talk about your feelings, right? Don't ever be scared to do that. For the adults, never stop wanting to learn. And never think you know everything where no one can tell you anything. Because you
say that one more time for them.
Again, never stop learning to the point where you think you know everything, whereas no one can tell you anything. You become a hindrance to young people, even your own family member, because they can never go to you because everything you spill is garbage, and you attack their soul and their spirit when you talk, because they go to you for advice and you don't give them advice, you give them a chastisement. So I advise adults to be receptive to hear what the young ones have to say and dig deep in yourself and say, you know what, I think I got room to learn a lot more, right? And if folks start doing that, man, they can pretty much help their family, help themselves, and help their neighborhood, and it can help the world. And it just, you got to want, and you can't get stuck on, I've seen enough to know enough. No one on the planet has seen enough to know enough. So the key is, think about the harm you cause when you don't listen, and think about the harm you cause when you tell one to suck it up. Think about the harm you cause when you say don't complain. Think about the harm you cause when you wave a person off because you feel you're too busy. Think about those things, because you might just be the problem why so many people, as such as yourself, your family, in the state that they're in now. So just think about those things, and and hopefully, man, that you might hear something today you might like, you might hear something today you might not like. But however it goes, you're gonna like something, whether it's good or bad.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, man, for real. My girl probably calling the fuck